All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Attack on Titan episode 8. Was it episode 8? Episode
Episode
8.
8.
Episode 8 reaction. You're here with Randy and Poro and for RTG Anime. And we will be discussing what was probably one of the heaviest episodes we've seen so far. I don't remember being. I think maybe the first time I watched Hero, I was this affected. But this was a pretty. I kind of knew something bad was going to happen, but I wasn't ready for it. How are you?
Assassin's Bullet, like you knew something bad was gonna happen. It was just a heart-wrenching episode, honestly. Yeah, dude. Rip Sasha. She's gone.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I'm actually still like a bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because like this whole season we've kind of been riding a high. Like none of our main characters have been, dying, which was very anti-Attack on Titan, honestly. Like usually we're used to a few characters dying here and there, but things were going too well, so I feel like we were kind of expecting it to all hit the fan at some point.
That's really interesting though, because now I don't feel like it's just the scouts who are our main characters. So I feel like we have lost.
Yeah.
We have lost some. I guess like Zofia and Udo weren't really main characters from the other side, but yeah, today was a bit of a roller coaster with Sasha dying. It was. Did you think that once she got shot she was gone, or did you kind of think that, or was it only like confirmed for you once Connie came and said it?
Nah, dude, I like usually when shows kind of show them like bleeding out, I have some hope, like, oh, she might still pull through. But yeah, I thought she would still live even after she got shot.
I was crying, man. I was kind of hoping, but I think I kind of knew that she was probably gone. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I think the name Assassin's Bullet. Yeah, I don't know, because even in the preview last week, I was sure what I saw was Gabby rolling onto the blimp with a gun up and people in the background, but I didn't. I don't know. I was still shocked. I was still shocked that like the first bullet hit and that she yeah, like I don't know. It was kind of shocking. And did you notice that Sasha was the only one that wasn't wearing the like breastplates? Because she had the rifle armor over her, so that's interesting. I don't know if she took it off or if she was never wearing it, but she was the only one that wasn't wearing the breastplates, which may have helped.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because her role was kind of to be a sniper, so maybe that's the kind of drawback to having a rifle. You can't wear armor because it'll get in the way.
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe the armor. I'm not 100% sure why, but I just noticed that. But it actually, I think the power of that. It's funny. Like I don't think Sasha was many people's favorite character, but by this point she just feels so like John would be dead without her. From a couple of episodes ago, Connie would be dead without her from the storming of the underground. That scene against Kenny's squad, she was integral to that. Like you actually think there's actually a few times in the series where she's been pretty integral to like her skill set has been like really valuable.
Yeah, and I feel like with other characters, we've kind of seen them fall and fail, and although Sasha wasn't anyone's favorite, maybe like she was always solid. Like she never really made that many mistakes, and she was like pure-hearted too in that sense.
Yeah.
So,
and I wonder if it's a sign of things to come, because we haven't really got any comic relief anymore in terms of like she was the token anime character that like just says the stupid shit that makes you laugh. So
Yeah.
I wonder, like, there's so many other shows where that's sort of so prevalent. Like I'm watching Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen at the moment, and both have like kind of a lot of comedy, and even Bleach, like there was no there was just no comedic relief in this at all, except for Sasha. So I wonder if that's a sign of like Sasha's gonna die because now there's nothing to laugh at anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because so far Connie and Sasha were both kind of tag teaming that. And the thing that really got it for me was like when we saw Sasha first, like a few episodes ago, and she had that kind of like deadpan, like stare that a lot of Attack on Titan characters have now. I was like, man, even if like the comic relief characters are looking like this, like this season's gonna be messed up.
She and also like I think we lost Connie's comedic relief once his mum became a Titan, and he saw that, like you saw like the life that was season 2, I think. So we don't really, because I agree. In the first season, Connie was just a bit of a goofball. Like he was always the one that just never seemed quite competent enough.
Yeah.
So I think also like we can come back to that as well. I mean, I really don't know what to say about it. Like it kind of hit me really hard. Like I think firstly also because I've sort of led the last couple of recordings by aiming to show my displeasure at how Mappa have animated the action sequences. I will just say, like, for one, I've always liked the art, and for two, like they are hitting the like emotional and the speaking scenes well. Like that was like that episode was delivered really, really well. I feel like I think almost every scene in that like in this episode felt really potent, but it was just overshadowed. Like there was actually a lot that happened in this episode, but it just didn't feel like anything because I was just so distraught at Sasha.
Yeah, the dialogue, like I think just this episode, I was so immersed. Like I thought the ODM shots were even amazing. Like towards the beginning, they had a few like ODM shots when they were hanging off the blimp. I thought those looked really good. And like the dialogue and the music, it's just like I never once thought like, oh, this is Mappa, not Wit. Like I was just completely engaged the whole episode.
Yeah,
and this episode was like emotionally it hit everywhere. So that's one of the great things about Attack on Titan. Like the dialogue is always amazing. Like everything is meaningful. There's no just like pointless banter. Almost.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm rewatching season 1 with a friend at the moment, and I just was thinking every single thing that they say, like even in season 1, just contributes to like the development of the character, and the way that it's said develops to like helps develop the character. It helps pull up, like there's just really no simple like just words for the sake of words in this show. Like I think it really is a masterpiece of a story. Like I know that's a bit of a Reddit fanboy thing to say, but they have, I mean, it's Isayama, but yeah, I think this episode in terms of the animation and the production and the direction was done fantastically. So hats off to Mappa for that, and I just hope they can nail the action sequences better later in the piece. But yeah, it was an awesome episode.
Yeah. So I want to kind of now go back to the beginning of the episode, like get back into our kind of routine scene by scene analysis.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the first kind of action sequence of the episode, Reiner versus Eren. I thought like Reiner's new look, I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if that's just an animation choice or if that's like because he was weakened, like he had to like let go of some armor on his face or something. But he looked super dope. He looked like a protagonist rising from the dead, and then he gets one shot KO'd by Eren, which we expected him to lose. I feel like that's fair, but yeah, it seems like he has not improved at all since he last got his ass kicked 4 years ago.
Yeah, I thought Reiner might. I really thought that I thought that maybe it was finally Reiner's time. I thought maybe it was finally Reiner's time to die. I thought that I admit I watched Semblance of Sanity, and the boys over there made a pretty big case for the fact that this, even though Reiner was weakened, he just didn't care about his life anymore, and so he was just going to go hell for leather and just go like, look, if I don't care about life anymore, I may as well take this motherfucker down and try and save these two kids that I care about. So I thought I thought he might have like a last little trick, or like one of those typical anime like kind of things where you look all dead, and like protagonist thing as well, where you look all dead and then all of a sudden like you just pull some strength out of nowhere. But that was not to be the case, and his plot armor, whilst literally gone, is figuratively still very much there. I definitely thought that he looked amazing, and I hope we get to see more of him. It was like having him look so cool, it just felt so weird that he was just demolished so quickly. But I definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, and I think it made sense this time that he didn't die. Like, it didn't to me to start with, but on my second watch, I just Eren said, "See you later," and I thought that was indicative of why Eren didn't go for the kill, because I don't know if he ever wanted to go for the kill, and I think he kind of, that whole thing of we're the same. I think there is a level of compassion in him. It wasn't going to stop him from transforming and killing Willy and taking the Warhammer Titan, but it was enough here to let him live.
Yeah. And so one thing, like, I guess in Reiner's defense, when he went for the punch on Eren, I don't actually think he was trying to punch him, because you see the same arm kind of grabs the jaw Titan. So I think it's really interesting that Eren, being the attack Titan, is going for the kill, but the armored Titan, about defense and I guess protection, chose to save his friend and just take the punch on the jaw rather than actually trying to harm Eren. Not that I think he could honestly harm Eren, but it's still interesting how he went for the save rather than the kill.
Yeah, I agree. And it kind of completes a part of his arc too, because he was the reason, and the fact that he didn't do anything was the reason that Marcel died, and the reason Galliard didn't like him. So I think that this is like a part of, I guess, Reiner's redemption. It would be pretty amazing if Reiner ends up coming back and being like a huge character in the next, in the rest of the season, like a really important character, like someone that really kind of grows out of the dust. And I just think that was just another step towards the redemption of Reiner.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of suffering, he's right up there with Eren, if not past Eren at this point. So I definitely think we'll see more from him. And I also, I didn't have any problem with him not dying this episode. It would have seemed too, rushed, because from the Paradise Eldians' perspective, right? They're kind of almost out of gas, out of ammo. Eren's done. He said it himself. I'm tired. I don't think I'll be able to transform anymore. And the longer they stay there, the more time Marleyans have to kind of gather troops, surround them, and close them, or take out their blimp. So yeah, I think it made sense that they had to pull out and retreat. But yeah, I just looking forward for Reiner's kind of character arc. I'm honestly cheering for him. I want him to be the hero that he wanted to be when he was younger, and I'm really curious as to see if he'll be able to hang with Eren going forward. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I think Reiner has, I definitely just was a bit sick of his plot armor before, but I think he's just grown into such an interesting character that I don't even, and also such a disturbed character that I actually feel sorry for the fact that he doesn't die now. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for his plot armor, because he does not it's plot armor, but it's for him, it's plot torture now.
Yeah.
it's
he
armor,
wants
but
to
it's
die.
got
Like, it's,
yeah,
yeah,
it's got spikes on the inside that are just all this plot armor is just like slowly killing him on the inside. So yeah, I think it was a bit it was fitting. I'll agree with you there. Like I think more to come from Reiner is a good thing. And even if I hate him for all of the things that he's lived through, I like it's almost just satisfying. And I do like his character now as well. So it's not just that, but also it's satisfying to see that just as I wanted him to die, now I want him to live just as much because of the fact that he wants to die, because it just seems more painful for him. It just seems more painful for him. But I do like Reiner's character, so like, and I just like I think even if you hate Reiner's character and get sick of his plot armor, you can appreciate the fact that now he's not dying, because it just feels like more. It just feels more cruel to him to not kill him by this point.
Yeah. And then, like, as Eren escapes, we kind of see him get back onto the blimp and have this moment where it's like Mikasa, Armin, and Eren. And I don't I really want to have like a discussion between Armin and Eren, because it seems like Armin is kind of like, his eyes just see like I know why you did this. Like I can, like, there's no other choice. It kind of seems like Armin is resigned to what Eren is doing, and so is Mikasa in a way. So
really,
yeah,
is that what you took from that?
I think so. Like, it looks like Armin knows that he won't be able to stop Eren from going down this path, and I think Mikasa already knows that as well. So that's what I kind of got from that scene. Like, Armin, he didn't like scold him, he didn't say anything. He just like took his hand, helped him up, and yeah, that's what I got from that.
I thought there was way more going on in Armin's head than that. I thought Armin was like, dude, like, what the fuck you like? It looked like the thought of a best friend who's never gonna leave his friend's side, but at the same time is like, dude, like, you're a fuck, you're a little shit. Like, I just murdered probably thousands of people to make your plan come off, and like,
so.
Like, he didn't look
so
happy.
You thought it was like,
he didn't look happy.
Thought it was
he looked betrayed. I reckon he just looked like, I don't know, he looked sad, betrayed. He looked like he was trying to find the person that he knew in Eren.
Yeah. So you think that he was coming at him like from a position of anger?
I don't think it was anger. I don't know. Like, I probably made it sound. It looked like sadness, to be honest. Like, it looked like,
I agree with the sadness. Yeah.
But not just sadness because he can't stop Eren, and like, I think he's definitely on Levi and Hanji's side. Like, he's definitely like secretly, like, he's never gonna actively try and stop Eren, and I don't think he'd plot against him, but he just looked like he couldn't believe what he just looked like he was in a bit of despair at what he was looking at.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I agree.
Looked sad too.
Yeah, I agree from the point where Armin would probably side with Hanji and Levi's plan to kind of wait, take it slow, but like, he didn't kind of castigate or scold Eren for making this plan. Like, I think he's aware, like, these are the circumstances. I hate the fact that I have to kill all these people, but I recognize that this is the reality we live in, and I'm not going to be able to stop Eren. So I'm just going to, like, I felt that moment, like, with him looking in the eyes, like, yo, dude, our lives are completely, like, fucked up, but this is just how it is. Like, that's to put into words, like, what I thought that, like, Glance was saying. Like, that's what I thought it was.
I don't know. I think the conversation that Hanji has with Eren later on puts it into a little bit more context. Like, I think Armin was forced to come up with a plan to save Eren because he'd thrown himself in the middle of a shit fight again, and then I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just not. I'm not convinced that Armin is in agreement that was the best way to go about it. Like, maybe
I completely agree. Like, I don't think Armin thought that was the best way. I just think he's kind of resigned himself into saying, Aaron's going to do what Aaron's going to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in getting angry at him at this point.
And we just have
but,
It's the same as how, So that Hanji kind of said as much as well. Like, every time you get yourself into shit, like, we don't have a choice. Like, we have to come and help you. Like, I thought it was, and Aaron had nothing in his. Mikasa looked sad at that little, like, eyes meeting of Armin and Aaron. Mikasa was like looking away and like looking sad, like, fuck, like it just. I'm not gonna say they look rocky, but it wasn't how a reuniting after so long would normally look.
Yeah, no, they definitely like feel super sad. But then you got Levi on the other hand, who. Dude, it felt so good to watch him just build a kick to Aaron's face. Like, I kind of wish, like, we saw some of Aaron's teeth fly out again. But yeah, that was, so now we kind of learn more about what we were theorizing in last episode about this being Aaron's plan and, him kind of going rogue. So it's very apparent he made himself, like, kind of not become a hostage, but him going to the mainland was not, something that everyone agreed upon. He went and did it on his own, and that basically put the scouts and everyone else in a position where they were forced to come and rescue him, which obviously Levi was not happy about. Like, they had him restrained. They're pretty much treating him as like a captive at this point.
Yeah, or there was a few scouts that went over to there, and then he put himself in Liberia because Jean was on the island too, in Mali as well. So yeah, so I'm not 100%, but like, it's very, very obvious at this point that I think two things are very obvious. One is that Aaron went rogue, and two, that Aaron was the conduit between the scouts and Zeke, and not Zeke getting in contact with the scouts or anything like that. It's pretty clear. I think we'll get onto that a little bit later. Did I have anything else to add here? I think when Levi says everything happened the way you wanted, that's what like, if you look carefully, you could see the smoke of Zeke recovering kind of in the background, and that or in the foreground of the shot, and I think that meant that what the actual master plan was to get Zeke. I think that was the biggest end goal of that mission for Eren. It was or one of the biggest anyway. It was probably to take out the Warhammer and get Zeke.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll get into like what I think Zeke and Aaron's plans were later, but I thought the smoke was kind of the smoke that was shooting out of the blimp. You saw like the scene right after that, there's smoke to kind of cover the blimp so the Marleyans can't shoot at it. I thought that was what the smoke was.
Oh yeah, could have been. I thought Levi saying that and then it panned out to the smoke was a bit, anyway, could have been that. And then, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then there was like the other kind of dialogue Levi had where it's like he's kind of referring to Aaron's face, like his eyes. Like, he has the same eyes as those of the people who live in the underground city who don't care for their lives, are kind of just, jaded. And I thought that was like really cool. Like, because I've been wanting Levi to have this confrontation with Eren for a long time now. Or like since this season started, because Aaron's been completely acting out of pocket without too much regard for the rest of the scouts, the rest of the Eldians from Paradise. So like Levi making that remark was very interesting to me. Like, I'm not sure. Yeah. Like, what did you make of it? Did you think that had any significance?
I don't know about significance. I thought that it was cool that Levi was the one that was giving him the smackdown, because it was like, he's the guy that's seen most people like that, like just down and out, apathetic, not caring, like willing to do anything it takes to get by. Like, Eren like looks like and acts like like a poor man's beggar who just needs to do whatever it takes to it's really like it's like, and that's what it's like when you're poor, like the guys in the underground, that's what you do. Like, you steal, you thieve, you hurt, you just do whatever it, like, there's no rules, and you do whatever it takes to get yours. And that's what it looks like Eren is kind of like right now. So I thought the comparison was really good. Like it made a lot of sense to me that Levi said that. I don't know if there's anything more to it than that though.
Yeah, I think that's also like kind of significant though into comparing Eren and Levi's, like, I guess, war strategy. So Eren is willing to do whatever it takes. We've seen that, but maybe Levi wants to kind of abide by some rules of war. Like, we shouldn't, like, when I'm fighting you, like, everything's clear. There's no like traitors. There's no kind of deceit. There's just like kind of honorable battle. But Eren doesn't believe in that. Eren believes like whoever wins is justified. So I think, that could be like kind of an insight into like Levi's honor in a sense.
Yeah, which is interesting because he came from the place where you could, he grew up doing whatever he felt like he needed to do. But yeah, I agree. So the next scene was Sasha, Jean, and Cody, which on the second playthrough just looked like the most obvious death flag to Sasha ever, but didn't feel like it on the first playthrough. It just looked like, like kind of three close friends celebrating. I don't like Flock. It's not my favorite character, that's for sure.
Like, yeah, I remember in season 3 when Flock was obviously trying to save Erwin instead of Armin. Like, I understood where he was coming from, right? But now it's just like, I don't like his character. I can safely say that, because you see Jean, like, and honestly, Jean is like becoming one of my favorite, like, kind of side characters in this show, because it's like he kind of like shows that he cares more about the 6 lives they lost on his side than the like numerous victories and lives they were able to kill from the other side. So he's still a man who like wants to preserve life and, save the blood, or like not do as much bloodshed, which I think like makes Jean instantly like top tier. But yeah, Floak just being annoying, and you kind of see a parallel between now that these Eldians are celebrating versus in the Train episode where those Eldians were celebrating after they defeated the Middle Eastern Alliance. Like, that's what this shot kind of reminded me of. But yeah, dude, I like when Connie was like hugging both Sasha and John, and like you could very clearly see Connie and Sasha, they have feelings for each other, and it was setting up to be too sweet, which I guess is the red flag that you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought I also, it was a really cute scene, wasn't it? And I agree with you with John. Like, he's had so much character development. It's actually amazing to think of how much character development they've all had. The other thing that I thought was really like just instructive and interesting was that Sasha calls John a leader, and I thought that was like, he's been a leader for a while, I think, just in the heat of battle. But I wonder if now he's got his own squad. And Sasha is like, maybe, I don't know if Sasha was on his squad, but yeah, it's just clear that he's solidified himself as like an integral leader in the inner circle, like more so than Sasha or Connie. Like not Armin level, or probably not Mikasa level, but like he's solidified himself as like an astute tactician in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, and I think you kind of touched on this like a few episodes ago. Like, we've seen Armin as like a good strategist, like kind of looking from afar, making these grand plans. But in the heat of the moment, Jean is like one of the best tacticians. Like, in a battle, he knows what to do, where to move, like who's vital in these scenarios. So yeah, I completely agree. And also, like, his character development has been insane, because literally like the first season, like the first kind of dialogue we have from him is he wants to go to the military police because he wants to protect himself. He doesn't care about the walls, the people on the outside. None of that matters to him. But now he's like one of the most selfless people. Like, he just wants to save people. That's it. That's all he wants. So yeah, his arc, like now that you mention it, has been one of the most kind of like full circle things we've seen.
Yeah, he kind of did go, like he kind of had like that arc in the first, like even when they did the first, like even when they tried to get the female Titan in the woods and he saw how many people died in that operation, he sort of started to come around. It probably was even earlier because he chose the scouts, but I think he just keeps getting, and as he gets more and more of these leadership qualities, he seems to understand the onus on him to be that person. It's pretty. I agree.
Yeah.
So I loved the next scene with Gabby and Falco. I loved. First, you see Gabby reflecting on the deaths, and it's entirely logical why she's doing what she's doing. But then also the things that she's saying allow Falco to have his reflections on his memories of seeing Reiner and Eren. And it's like entirely logical why he thinks the way that he thinks as well. And I think he's in a very interesting position now, because he's one of the only characters, I think probably other than Eren and Reiner, it's probably Eren, Reiner, and Falco now, I think.
And like Zeke, maybe.
Yeah, Zeke as well, but I agree with you. I think Zeke's still playing like a funny, like double or triple agent. Like, yeah. I'm like, the jury's out on whether Zeke actually, he probably understands, but he's probably a little bit more like the strategist tactician who doesn't, like he's kind of like, I get Erwin vibes from Zeke. Like, I think he's always a few steps ahead of everyone, and like he cares more about thinking about the overall strategy than kind of the like having the empathy and whatnot that's required to really, like, I don't know. Like, I think Reiner, Eren, and Falco are more susceptible to actually like the feelings and emotions that come with this understanding. So I think Zeke's in like a bit of a different space about it, but I do think he like, he obviously understands because he's sided with the Eldians. So yeah, I agree with you from an understanding perspective, but he seems a bit different in like the way he's feeling about it. And I think that's part of it. Like, I wrote that like Falco has the knowledge of Reiner, but without the psychological destruction of the journey. Like, essentially the same knowledge now as Eren or Reiner. And you would say Eren has been like psychologically like downhill as well. And so he hasn't had his brain destroyed by the knowledge that he's been able to gain from listening to them. But at the same time, he also has like the empathy and the desire for freedom to understand what that means, that everyone's the same. Like, he naturally has that empathy in him, that when Eren says we're the same, he understands and has the empathy to be able to, I guess, agree with that, and then the path or desire for freedom to want to do something about it. Maybe like, it really feels like Falco could be the thread through which the like whole, like I'm like it just, and now I get why the ED is so focused on him, because I actually do think he's going to be like, if anyone in this story is going to be able to bring people together from both sides, or to like, and I don't think this is going to have a happy ending, don't get me wrong, but I just think like if there's any reconciliation, or I just think he's going to be so crucial to how this story plays out, because he's the one that seems to have none of the mental scars, all of the empathy required, and the desire for freedom to make a change. And now it kind of seems like he has like a lot of, like, he just seems like he's, I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It seems like
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
maybe you can put it better than me.
I think it's interesting because he's so young, and he realizes that this isn't like a fight between good and bad. It's just a fight between two different sides. And I always just like think about Bertolt, like when he's having that realization, like there's no right and wrong. There's just like the people you're fighting for and the people you're fighting against. And it's very easy to juxtapose him versus Gabby now, because Gabby, she has like the fire in her eyes. She just sees red. Like she wants to kill the Eldians on Paradise. And I really liked how, like, her exposition, right? She kind of explains, I wanted to make like Eldians seem good in the world's eyes, and we were going to do that by, kind of working hard, rising through the ranks, proving our worth. But now that these Eldians just came in and just destroyed the whole city, like the internment zone, everything, the world's never going to look at Eldians as good. They literally like this is what they did. So it's like ruined basically her whole dream of like kind of peace, at least for now. And like when Falco is like hearing this, like there's nothing else he can say. Like, yeah, there are two sides, but one of the sides clearly is trying to kill you. So it's interesting. Like I definitely thought after last episode, Falco would kind of give up on this, oh, we can all be friends after Eren betrayed him, and he would not be as like bloodlusted as Gabby, but definitely want revenge on Eren. But no, he seems like very mature in his kind of thinking. He wants to seek reconciliation.
Yeah, he just, what do I think about Falco?
So you think Falco is the one that could bring everyone together? You don't think it'd be someone from the main cast?
I think Falco is going to be the main character by the end of the show.
Wow.
I think Falco is going to be like he's going to be like the deciding factor, I think, in how all this plays out. Yeah, I think he's going to be. I still think he's going to eat Eren or like something along those lines. Like I think he's going to. I think they're building Falco into the end. Like he's I think at the very end he will be standing or he won't be standing, but whatever happens will be because I think Armin and Falco will be like two of the defining characters of the show. And I think Armin already kind of has been. Eren obviously will be too, but I think when it's all said and done, it's growing on me so much that Armin's the narrator of the story, which means he's there at the end. And I think that's always how it is in like animes and stuff. The narrator is generally like alive and telling the story from after the events. So I think Armin's going to be there at the end. And I think Falco is going to be the thread by which this story lives or dies.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, because he's kind of put in a position where he understands both sides, and he has this goal of kind of uniting everyone, and he has like the power to do so. He has like the bloodline of the Grices, so it makes sense there. And yeah, Armin will definitely play a part as well. I'm trying to think if there's anyone like from the main cast who I'd want to be put in that position, because as much as I like Jean and I think his heart's in the right place, I don't know if he'll play that pivotal of a role as like a Falco or Armin. So yeah, you might be right, honestly. Like Falco might be the one that kind of unites everyone.
Something that I was just talking to my mate who watches the show, and something that he said was that it was like the very first scene of episode 1 of season 4 was like just such a typical shonen anime introduction to like the protagonist, the main character, like just seeing the bird fly over and then the dude like lying on the ground, like dreaming and like talking and la la la. Like it's just such a shonen protagonist like thing, and it was just so atypical for them to be giving that kind of fan or like that kind of service to a character who is seemingly on the other side and a young, unimportant character. And I think by the time this season and series is said and done, I think that will make a lot more sense. I think Falco is going to be the protagonist. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I still think he's going to be the Armored Titan, though.
You still think he's going to be the Armored Titan?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. We will.
I'm definitely like less confident about it now, though. It's just like, because like you were saying it initially, like, from the get-go, but now like I have other people also thinking the same way, and like the whole dream in the first episode. There are a lot of things that can connect him to Eren, like being the Attack Titan. But like I think his whole arc of trying to save Gabby and everything would mean that he becomes the armored titan. Like that's kind of my reasoning behind that.
We'll see how we go. I think yeah, I just had a discussion with my mate about this and how we think that Gabby is a mirror for Mikasa and Eren, and Falco is a mirror for Eren. But that's what nobody else thinks that. But I think that Gabby's being made to look so obviously like Eren, but she's actually like the defender. She's actually the one that runs in and saves everyone. She's actually the one who's competent. Like she's like Mikasa with a temper. But we'll see. We'll see where that goes. I'm sticking solid. The more I watch of Falco though, the more I think like there's been nothing so far. Or everything that I did, like maybe the stuff that I doubted, like him getting broken by seeing Eren and Reiner talk and then Eren transform and stuff, like seeing him in this episode have the empathy and the maturity to kind of see through that past his own emotions and understand where Eren was coming from. I just thought that kind of reaffirmed my position that he's acting like a protagonist and acting like, I don't know, Eren in some ways. The next scene was cool. Like the music when Gabby's making her decision was like, I just love that soundtrack. I think it's a new season 4 soundtrack. I absolutely love it. Gabby seemed like she got 10 years older when she kind of seemed resigned to the fact that she might die, but she wasn't sad about it. She's going to go up there and do what she feels she has to do. Falco also seemed like he started to get some growth in the way of being stronger and more defiant towards what he wants as well, like kind of jumping on and sort of saying, no, I'm supposed to be the armored titan, and like, you know, really showing the balls that are required to like match Gabby's intensity. Yeah. What do you think of that scene?
Yeah, no, I thought I had a feeling that Falco would kind of tag along, especially when Colt came running through, because he would have tried to stop both of them. So yeah, and it was like I just wanted to kind of talk about like Gabby. I don't know, it was so unsettling. Gabby being able to like shoot that guy with one shot in the middle of the air, and then, you know, like obviously when she gets into the blimp. I didn't even want to make this segue, but like, yeah, when she shoots Sasha.
That's next anyway, so we can probably go there.
Dude, I don't know, bro. It kind of like, I just can't help but dislike Gabby now after the shit that she's done.
Yeah, right.
I'm curious as to how you feel, because like, you know, obviously you liked her initially.
I think I'm a bit on Falco's side here. Like I kind of get that no one's evil, but like it's I think everyone gets that, but it's just like, I don't know. I was more sad that Sasha died than I was angry that Gabby shot her. Man, I honestly, I don't think there was any room in my head for anger. I was just sad. I cried. I actually cried. I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty sad. We've sort of talked about this. I don't know if you got anything else that you want to talk about from this scene.
I don't want to dwell on it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I just saw that you noted that Falco saved John and Gabby. Yeah, like I don't know if Gabby got a shot off. I thought John's shot missed them and then deflected back at him. But I'm not sure what happened. But yeah.
Oh no, so like, yeah, like I rewatched the scene basically. So like Gabby, it nicked Jean's ear, and like Jean's shot also would have like went through Gabby, but so like Falco kind of saved both of them. Like he didn't want that sacrifice to be made, like Jean for Gabby, which, you know, I'm glad that didn't happen. We lost 2 great characters.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Oh no, I was gonna transition, but like if you had any more.
No, I don't. I just R.I.P. Sasha. You were the best potato girl we ever knew.
Yeah, dude, rest in peace. Yeah, then like we kind of transition into the mystery soldier, the one that I think you and Yaz thought was Armin, basically the one who trapped Peak and Galliard. Yeah, so you can explain kind of like what her role was, I guess.
Well, I thought this was really interesting because, and the way that this scene is done, it kind of dovetails half of the scene, and then Gabby and Falco get brought in, and then at the very end, she like, it's like Peak saying that he's a follower of Zeke, and then it cuts back, and then you kind of see Zeke there. So, and at the same time as the kids see Zeke, you see that Zeke is there as well. But it's been explaining that this like person. So I'm interested. I thought Onyakapon was going to be like of the African nation, and they had allies, but it's clear here that he was a Malayan soldier. So obviously, I didn't realize that Mali had people of kind of African or people of like color in their descent. I hadn't seen. I assumed that, like, I just assumed that there was like kind of stereotypical nations, which obviously doesn't make sense. It's obvious, like it's normal that there would be multiculturalism and things like that. But yeah, it's like the one thing I got here. So we saw that this Yelena is a follower of Zeke and went on one of the first scout recruit missions. So does that mean
not scout recruit missions, right? So after Reiner and Zeke kind of
just scouting missions.
Yeah, like they would send like these ships to basically scout out the position of Paradise. And so it seems like Zeke from 3-4 years ago was plotting to kind of make an inroads, make an ally in Paradise, so that this plan would be then put into action, so that Paradise knew that, okay, this is what Zeke is planning. He wants to come over to your side, and Yelena was the kind of factor to allow that to happen.
So my question is then, like, how long has Eren been? Because it doesn't seem like Zeke and Levi have been pen pals. Like, it really doesn't. It doesn't seem like they've been pen pals at all. And so I don't know if they've been in communication. So does that mean Eren has been undercover for like that entire time and has been like, what I don't understand is how all this came together, because it is just such the plan was so complex and had so many moving parts. Like, it couldn't have just been all going through Eren, but maybe I don't know. Yeah.
So
like,
here's my theory is basically, in order to kind of prove Zeke's like willingness to cooperate with the Eldians, he sent Yelena, I think her name was, and Onyakapon, and like the technology to kind of like advance. And I think we see a clip in the preview of Hanj kind of like working with these people, and I think that basically allowed them to trust in Zeke. And he had planned this out that, you would come back, fake kill me, and take me back. And I think Eren was like kind of an independent party to make this then happen. Like, I think Eren was aware of like Zeke's plan, and then in order to put it into action, he goes to Marley to cause the scouts to then come save him and take Zeke in the process. So I think there was like some cooperation between Zeke and Eren to make this all happen. I don't think it was just all Zeke.
So you think, I think Zeke and Eren were in cahoots, but do you think Zeke and Eren were in cahoots already before Eren came to Marley and then he left to go to Marley? Or do you that's what I'm trying to piece together, how much of this plan and how much of this alliance was already in place before Eren left? Because once Eren left, it gets real complex in my head, because then you've got Eren sending letters to probably Zeke, them making plans through letters, and then Eren sending letters to Paradise and just telling them what's happening. Because they're not. I don't think they're sending letters back.
I think most of it was Zeke's plan, like the whole like Beast Titan kind of chucking boulders and like Levi coming in with that diversion. I think most of it was Zeke, but I think I don't know who contributed to the plan in like what way. Like, Eren obviously caused it to happen by transforming and taking the Warhammer Titan and everything. I think that was Eren's like plan, and that was his doing. But yeah, I'm not sure when Aaron started trusting Zeke, why he started trusting Zeke. Like maybe because of that last conversation they had at the end of season 3 when Zeke's like, "I'm here to save you." I'm like so confused, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm positive that Aaron and Zeke were in contact while Aaron was in Mali. I think they've come up with this plan together, or Zeke has come up with the plan and Aaron has agreed to it. Because Zeke would have the information to give to Aaron about what's happening, with the festival and stuff like that. I thought it was. I think it's really obvious that they were in contact. I just don't know if they were in contact before, because if they're in contact before Aaron leaves Paradise, then at very least, it's really clear then that like, because if Aaron's in contact with Zeke, then Aaron's going and talking to Levi.
What do you mean by in contact? Like, I don't think Zeke is like sending them letters or anything. Like, I think it's just.
Well, I think
like
when Aaron's in Mali, they're definitely sending letters to each other.
Dude, I'm not sure.
Well, how did he have the baseball glove? Aaron, that was clearly from Zeke. That was one of the biggest giveaways for me, that like Zeke and Aaron were in contact. That's what
you think it was part of it? So then you think it was part of Zeke's plan that Aaron would come, but then why would the rest of his squad get mad at him that he left?
Well, maybe because maybe Zeke wasn't in contact with the scouts. He was only in contact with Aaron. So like everyone else is trusting Zeke.
I'm just confused about that, like how the logistics would have worked.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did if that's the case? So this is my head. What's happened is Aaron has just fucked off, and it could have been years ago. Like, because if Aaron has like. Because what I don't understand is how did the scouts know? We're going to find out next episode, obviously. How did the scouts know that these recruits coming were friendly? That they're not recruits, that these Malayan scouts coming. Like, how did the Eldian scouts know that the Malayan scouts were friendly? And if that's the case, because I don't think Zeke has reached out to the scouts. I think he's reached out to Aaron, and I think Aaron is like communicating. I think Aaron is like the bridge between the scouts and Zeke, which is why Levi was like still like that. That's why I think Levi, like the jury's out for Levi on Zeke, because like
I think Levi is just like holding a personal vendetta because
maybe
like Irwin.
I can't. I'm not sure, but there's some 4D shit going on. It's definitely clear to me that once Aaron got to Mali, he was getting information from Zeke and then sending that information along with his own ideas for a plan to the scout, saying, yo, this is what me and Zeke are doing. This is what I'm going to do. If you guys want to come help, you probably should, because this is the plan, and this is a good plan, and you can't lose me. So he knew they were going to come and rescue him.
Yeah.
But at which point Zeke and Aaron start talking, I don't know, because it doesn't.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah. Here's my like last kind of thoughts on the matter. I think Zeke was communicating with all the scouts, not just Aaron. I think like he was like, I think Hanj knew like what Zeke was like, what his intentions were. Because she kind of says like, oh, your plan worked, but there were a few miscalculations, like something along in that vein. But I think Aaron, like as you said, like he started having his own ideas. Maybe he wanted the Warhammer Titan. Like he was hearing these things and kind of crafting his own path along it. And since the scouts were coming there, maybe like as a covert operation to pick up Zeke, since Aaron's there, they had like a full invasion. So I think it was kind of like both of them. I'm not sure where their plans overlap and where they differ. But yeah, I think like Zeke was definitely in cahoots with the scouts.
I think Aaron and Zeke's plan was. I think Aaron and Zeke came up with a plan together. I think their plan was. I think their plan was pretty much like. I don't think there was much divergence between their plans. I think their plan. I think they both had. They both came up with that plan together. I think.
Dude, and can I just say like that shot with like Zeke and Aaron right next to each other was so cool. Like the two half brothers are now kind of on the same side. Like that's. Yeah, that was so
It's kind of a shot that gave me that feeling, like that shot, and like the fact that when Zeke said, like Hanji is kind of going off at Eren for like the plan, and then Zeke jumps in and sort of says, well, yeah, but now we've got the founding Titan and a Titan with royal blood. Like it kind of sounded like Zeke was like a bit like, hey, yo, this plan worked. So fuck you. Like it was it was his, like not as if it was his plan as well, but it just felt to me like they were both. It was both their plans. But yeah, I think we're going to find out next episode how long they've been in cahoots for. And yeah, I agree that it looks pretty cool that Zeke and Eren are on the same team, and that's a powerful combination because all Eren has to do is touch Zeke, and all of a sudden they've got the founding Titans' powers without being forced into the founding Titans' will. So like you've kind of like completed, like you've kind of completed the kind of the superpower necessary to bring the rumbling or control Titans and whatever else you're basically enabling Eren to unleash the entire power of the coordinate without having any of the downsides of having the royal blood.
The king's willingness. Yeah.
Like there is some OP shit going on there.
Yeah. So I guess like now we can kind of discuss like, do we think Zeke is completely on Paradise's side? Or do we think he's still big braining everyone and doing his own shit?
I think Eren and Zeke are on the same side. I don't know if they're on the same side as the Scouts. At this point in time, I think Eren is kind of on the same side of the Scouts, but like I think he's got like ulterior or apathetic emotion or plans that like I think Eren is playing a bit of a game right now. I think he's got some thoughts and things that he wants to do in his head that he doesn't know if the Scouts want to do, but he's going to do them. I think the most aligned people right now are Eren and Zeke. And that goes into what I said before. I think they came up with this plan together, and I think now, that's what I think. I think those two. I think it's not so much as Zeke and the Scouts. I think it's Zeke and Eren, and then how much do they have in common with the Scouts?
Okay, I guess like kind of before giving my rebuttal, I'll kind of just briefly go over like when Sasha died. I was super shocked to see like Eren show that much emotion to her death. Like you kind of see him going not crazy, but like you see him like laugh a little bit and then just like be completely like torn between like despair and anger at the fact that Sasha died. So like because of that, I think that Eren is still on the side of the Scouts. He wants to save like as many people as he can from Paradise. I think Zeke's smart enough to know like I don't want to just save the people from Paradise. I want to save all Eldians, like period. So I think they're diverging slightly, and I'm not sure if, like from Eren's point of view, right? Like he would be fine to just cause a rumbling because he doesn't care about anyone outside of Paradise. But I don't think Zeke would want to do that. So I'm curious to see like what good will the founding Titan and royal blood, like what will that allow them to do in the grand scheme of things, like.
Yeah.
Because aside from the rumbling and like I guess controlling mindless Titans, like what else can they do?
Yeah. And also what I was thinking was like how useful is they can start the rumbling, because like if you think about it, Zeke can also transform people into Eldians into Titans. So if he can transform Eldians into Titans and Eren can control the Titans, all Zeke has to do is walk into an Eldian internment zone, yell, and then Eren can just go, hey guys, go fuck on them. Like, you know, it's like there's so much that they can do. But yeah, I was surprised that he got I was really surprised to see him get angry when he, like, I thought the laughing was like pretty hectic. Like it was a lot that he laughed. But then I remembered that he laughed when Hannes died as well. So it's actually kind of in character. Yeah. Like he goes a bit crazy, and then I think getting angry was interesting because we just haven't seen him give any kind of emotion since we've seen him again. So I thought that was, and I wonder why he got like, you know, everyone's kind of blaming him. and it's just
maybe he's angry at himself, like for
that's what I mean. I don't know why. Like, obviously he's devastated Sasha is dead, but I don't know what he's angry at or who he's angry at, because he could be angry at himself. He could be just angry at war. He could be angry at the fact that there's a battle on in the, like, because it's I think it's very reasonable and rational right now that Eren could be angry that all this is happening, but also just apathetic enough in the long run to like so he feels the emotion, right? But then at the same time, it's not going to stop him. So he could have just had an I'm not sure. I think I'm fishing a little bit here, but I know what I'm. Like, he's angry, but I don't think it's ever going to stop him from moving forward with what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree for the most part, like with what your sentiments were. It's just like, I'm really glad we got that kind of scene of like Eren laughing and then becoming angry, because when he was apathetic, you know, I didn't really like what he's doing. But like by him kind of showing anger and stuff, like I feel like it humanizes him a bit more, and you can tell like, okay, his heart is still with the scouts. Like he wants to protect these guys. So like I liked kind of his character for that moment.
I think that's. I think if I'm not, he's definitely more. I don't know. He's definitely not. He's not against the scouts right now.
Yeah.
But I think if him and the scouts decide that they're not on the same like page, I think if he comes up with an idea or a plan and the scouts don't agree, he's not going to fall into line.
Yeah.
There's no way. I think Zeke and him have their own ideas of what's going to happen now, and if the scouts don't agree with them, well, it's like, well, fuck off. Like, this is what's happening. I think he cares about his friends, but I think to him, what's most important right now is still what he wants to achieve, which whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think like within Paradise, there's like a few different kind of like interests. There's like the scouts, there's Zeke, there's Eren, and yeah. Super
interesting episode. I actually think this was probably my favorite. I honestly think this is. I wish I could have liked the last two episodes, but I just honestly think Mappa fucked them up. Like, I really, I just know it would have been so much better if we did it. But I honestly think that Mappa nailed this episode. It got me so much more immersed than any of the other episodes. I think we saw so much plot thickening. As much as I hate that Sasha's dead, like kudos for not protecting, you know, like I think that's the reason we all love this show, right? Because it pulls at the heartstrings. It's hard to say that the episode was better because Sasha died, but it was quality. It was a quality episode. Like I don't know what, I honestly can't think of a way to have made the episode better. Like, that's as close to a 10 as you're getting from me, I reckon.
Yeah.
For what it was.
I think it's a 10 as well. Like, they made Sasha's death, you know, really good. Like, emotionally it hit like all the points, and yeah, it made me sad. So
yeah. When you think of it, like, what did we get from that episode? We saw Eren having compassion towards, like, we just saw so many like character thread plot points, like Eren having compassion to Reiner, Gabby like making a decision and being like kind of rash in her decision, but then when she explains it to Falco, it doesn't seem rash at all. And then she kind of comes over with this calm and says, you know, everyone follow me in my footsteps, you're one of the good ones. And she just seems like this protagonist, it's like destined to die in like, but knowing she's doing something that's going to make her die, but then she goes anyway, like very calm. And then Sasha dies, but not before. We get like this cute little moment with Jean and Connie, and then we see Zeke, and we get like to thread some things together between Eren and Zeke and the scouts. And then we get the reveal of the unknown soldier, and we get the like even the Eren Armin like eyes. Like, there was so much. Like, I just thought there was so much in this episode. Like I really liked it. I was totally engrossed start to finish.
Yeah. And I think like some of my favorite moments were we finally got the scouts interacting with each other. Like, we saw what Levi thought, saw what Hanji thought, we saw with like Jean, Sasha, Connie, like all their feelings towards each other. And yeah, like I've been waiting for that from this season, so it was super satisfying. And yeah, I think the last episode and this episode were both 10s for me.
Yeah, yeah. And just to close off, I think, or could close off from my side anyway, I think the payoff of the first 4 episodes or 5 episodes of like watching the Marlenes, like it worked. Like I'm actually like I'm agnostic to who the protagonists are. I'm agnostic to who the villains are. Like, and I care so much about, like, it really has, the intention of those 4 episodes has worked. It must have been so weird for the manga readers, because those 4 or 5 episodes would have been like 8 months worth of manga. And like, so by the time you see the scouts again, it would have been so long between seeing, like, it would have felt like a fantasy. But I feel like they've done such a good job. Like, it was so good they actually spent those 4 or 5 episodes setting the scene of the Marley characters, because now they feel just as important as, like, maybe not as emotionally stuck on them. Like, I wouldn't have cried if Gabby died like I did with Sasha, but like it really, like, I just really like that it was definitely worth a payoff. Like, once you see the characters interacting again, like you just said, and realizing when Gabby and John are like taught, like it hits so much harder because you care about both sides. I haven't seen an anime, I haven't seen a show really that's done that so well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, great point. Like, the risk paid off, showing from their perspective for the first half of this season. I'm like so invested in their characters, and it made like seeing our characters that much more like rewarding and satisfying.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, props to whoever, or I guess Isayama, for thinking of that. That was great.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably about it for today. We got through a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot more to get through. Guys, please subscribe to the channel if you like what we're talking about. And if there's anything else, I mean, we're not manga readers, so I don't think we're going to read the comments. I did see that there was a few comments on the last video though, so thank you so much for the people who are leaving comments and listening along. I hope our discussion is providing some sort of entertainment or some sort of ideas or theories about what's going on. Very obviously, if you're a manga reader, you might be laughing at us right now because we could be completely wrong, or you could also be thinking Michael's a genius because actually Falco does eat Eren. But either way, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.